Breaker 19, breaker 19. Yes, thank you for joining the Lump and Reggie Petty Ass Podcast. This is what we do all day, every day, especially on Tuesdays. But today, we had Thursday's Goons Talk. Yes.
Yeah.
And on Wednesdays, we got State of the Women. And then, like I like to mention, and just like Yella like to mention, the weekend fire pit talk. That means everybody go crazy. They smoke, they drink, they pop their butt, they do everything that's not normal. And there's no hose barred.
Is that a Kate Michelle popped your butt?
Oh.
I don't know. That might not be good.
Oh my God. All right, but now we're going to get to the business at hand. This is part 2. This is part 2 of Goons Talk from last week. We're going to continue. We got 2 new guests on the panel. They want to confront the other people that was on the panel.
Well, let's just say have a healthy conversation.
Yes. Yeah. All right. And thank everybody. Harm City is the sponsor that sponsors the Petty Ass Lump and Reggie podcast. And shout out to our engineer. I am the engineer. That's why I'm not in front of the camera right now for my man Yellow.
Yes.
And I'm the co-host. And I'm sitting behind the door because my petty ass Reggie is not here.
That's okay.
Okay? Now, shout out to all our supporters. And let's get ready to rumble.
Yes.
Let's go.
Giving our own narrative sincerely, guys. Hey, listen, we want the panel to introduce themselves. You guys know me, Maisha, the Baltimorean. We're going to start over to the right.
Okay, my name is Wink. Some of y'all know me as Wade. Once again, I'm ecstatic to be here. Interesting where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Peace to the gods and nerves is Rakim, Rasa Beck. This is my second time here. I represent consciousness, enlightenment, and truth in whatever form it comes, as long as you recognize it.
All right, now. Let's keep the ball rolling.
My name is Lakim as well. Lakim PJ, and I represent truth and understanding and information.
Yes.
And you know, I'm Yellow Man.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to be here. And we're going to have a nice show today. We got 4 sharp brothers, and I'm including myself in that.
Yeah.
We're going to have a healthy discussion. So, as my understanding, matter of fact, Maya should take it. Take it from here.
Listen, we were talking about surviving or navigating in prison without being in a gang. We said a few things. You guys can always go back and review last week's footage. But we're going to pick it up right where we left off. And I'm going to start here on the end with Brother Wade. Give us your take on that. Surviving in prison without being in a gang.
Me personally, I studied under the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan and Lost and Found. And I've had the opportunities to be around a lot of those SCGs, those security threat groups that people call them, or street and prison organizations. And it's like the administration like to call them gangs. So I had the time to be around a lot of them men intimately, have conversations with them, dialogue with them. You get what I'm saying? To get a better understanding of what and who they were and why they were what they were.
Yeah.
Right? Make no mistake about it. I'm not glorifying anything. And if you come into a prison system and you are an individual and you feel like you're not with the politics, you just want to do your time and move through the system, it's best that you not become a part of any type of street or prison organization. You get what I'm saying? Because it's going to be some things that you're going to have to go through to get where you want to go. So make no mistake about it. So my advice to that individual would be, go and do your time, mind your business, and hopefully, you'll make it out unscathed. Usually that's not the case. I don't care what you're a part of. I don't care if you're a civilian or not. You're going to be tested. And that test ain't going to come in one form. And it's not going to come one time. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, if you are the man who you say you are, and you want to get through it, and you want to get through it, you're going to go through it. You may have to go through it a few times. But at the end of the day, people want to respect you. You get what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw, you're not going to win them all. We know that. We know that from the streets. But the intelligent thing to do, if you feel like you're not with anything and you just want to do your time, mind your business, absolutely. Go in there, you know, do your time, mind your business. That way, you know, if anything comes around you or your way, you know you didn't ask for it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're free to do whatever you want to do from that point.
Thank you.
That is from, I guess, a civilian standpoint. Yeah, like if you want to be a civilian. So that's my advice on that. Now, me, I came on here today because I watched the show last week and I felt like it was a soundbite. I know the brothers, they didn't get a lot of time to expound on what they were saying because it was cut short. You get what I'm saying? It was a segment where it was just a question. They had multiple questions. They had to move on. But I felt like a more holistic view needed to be given on that topic, because if I walked away and took what I took from that conversation, I felt like it was said that, you know, at one point in time, these street and prison organizations had a message.
Yeah.
They lost their message. They fell from it. So anybody and everybody that's coming in these particular gangs and organizations now, they are hiding from something and looked at as cowards.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm on here today. I'm not going to go too deep in it because I want everybody to get a chance to explain. But yeah, I'm on here today because that wasn't my reality when I was in prison, when I was looking at the street and prison organizations. And once again, I'm not glorifying it, but I want to be a little bit more realistic when we talk about these particular entities.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that, Wade.
I appreciate your perspective. And I want to add on to that because when I first came into the system out here in Maryland, I kind of came into the system already affiliated with the Nation of Guards and Nerves. And everybody know me as being a 5%er from day one. In New York, the 5% Nation was always considered a gang. And I'm not saying that description was inaccurate. I'm saying that you had people who made it look that way. And in having people to make it look that way, you also had people who kept the tenets in its proper perspective. And this goes for other organizations that came about later on. When I was in prison here in Maryland, a lot of guys that I met, they weren't a part of anything as of yet. And I want to point that out. And Maryland is kind of unique because in the early 90s, the gang epidemic hadn't hit the prison system yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so I had the privilege to know individuals before they chose to get in different houses. I knew who was men before the house they claimed. I knew who was conscious. I knew who was shiesty. I knew who was genuine. I knew who was authentic men. And so as they began to choose whatever house they chose to function in, they remained that way. Some grew in positivity, some grew in negativity. But what I want to say is this: we have to be cautious in how we word things because we have a common enemy. And words define our reality. So wherever you have an organized group of men, especially black men, the powers that be are always quick to call us a gang. All you have to be is organized. All you have to do is have a set of rules. All you have to do is have some penalties for those who violate those rules. And next thing you know, you're a STG. Which makes sense because you are a security threat to those who look at you and your unity as a problem. And so we got to remember, for those organizations that represented black consciousness, of course they will be considered STGs.
Right.
For those who were misrepresenting that black consciousness, that black nationalism, and that black militant aspect, of course they had rules and regulations to deal with that, those who did that also. But what I want to say is this: a lot of times we make an assessment. I won't use the word judgment, but we make an assessment of groups according to the negative, and we overlook the positive, or we overlook those who it had raised and turned into genuine individuals who were more conscious. I know some guys that came to prison. When I first came to prison, I had life plus 45 years. You know what I'm saying? I had life plus 45 years. I gave the life back. I ended up stuck with 45 years, and I did 31 years on 45 years. So you can imagine what I saw in the prison system, in the old penitentiary, Outback, JCI. I've been in every jail at least twice. So you can imagine what I've witnessed with these eyes. You can imagine what I've had to do to survive. And a person on the outside looking in, they probably will be like, damn, he a savage, or he a this, he a that. But you don't know the environment that we are placed in to bring out certain characteristics just to protect what is given to you by the Creator, Allah, God.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people join organizations for various reasons. And when they get in them organizations, they don't know that the organization may not live up to what it say it's going to live up to. Be it the nation, be it the 5% nation, be it the Sunni community. Because we all have people who fall to the wayside. But we cannot make or pass an assessment on the whole because of what the majority or what a small number do.
Yeah.
And with that, I say peace, and I let the sister or Lakim Bill come.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that you can survive in prison without being in a gang. We're going to let Lakim continue to expound this way.
I like to open up with peace, and I mean, like, you know,
Thank you.
I like to believe that I'm an eloquent speaker. I'm a unique thinker, and when I hear my two brothers on the end talk, I just feel that, oh, you know, when you get around certain brothers, and it just fuels me. There's so much stuff fired up in me, and I thought that this would be some type of confrontation, but it's not going to be, not even a little bit, because just know this brother tentatively, but just listening to him so eloquent, and I'm just filled up with nothing but love. And that's where I come from. So the place where I'm speaking from, I'm going to be speaking from there. And I couldn't agree with everything they said even more. And so I want to just expound and straighten out a few things that I might have said. And that was that, like my brother said, he said that you cannot judge a whole organization by a few individuals, which is 100% right, because everyone will have a few bad apples will go awry. And the disillusion of organizations being something that you thought they was, and it turned out that they wasn't living up to what they were supposed to be. I agree 100%. And so I want to say that I agree, and that those, it's just the fact that, because we, like the brother said, we didn't get a whole lot of time to actually delve into some of the nuances of these different organizations and some of the bad seeds and why they're bad seeds. And we just talked tentatively about some guys joining a hideout, which is definitely a true statement as well. But it was so many. I got a lot of information. So I talked to a lot of Mo brothers. I deal with a lot of Sunni brothers. And I move with a lot of nation brothers. And I come from a state with a lot of 5%ers. So,
Peace.
So I understand across the board. And I grew up in a Christian household under that. I don't want to insult my family, but I'm just going to say, when I learned to study for myself, I seen something a little bit different. I seen a little bit differently, and I seen a lot of old wise tales in the religion, and I'll say that. But I got a lot of positive. I'm talking about, it was so many sharp brothers that taught me so many things in different organizations. So when I talk about the organizations and they being dudes that's hiding out, which is true, a lot of, hot dudes and different things that he's trying to hide up under a lot of, that's what I should have said was under a lot of good brothers, and a lot of good soldiers that have put their life on the line for what they believe in, and these dudes was able to get in there, just acting like they are really interested in the religion and the brothers, the information that the brothers was giving out. So, but don't ever misconstrue the little short snippets that we gave last time. It's not the amount of respect and admiration that I have for a lot of organizations, because I understand how a lot of them came about through studying, and that they were very, very positive, strong brothers, and that a lot of them are dear friends to me to this very day right here. A lot of them understand my perspective because I'm kind of studied a little bit on all the way around the board. And so I don't ever want that to be misconstrued. So I want to come on here and have an understanding that I was talking about a minute set of individuals that get involved. These organizations slide them under the radar until they found out and hiding out or just playing. Think like they're not really, they playing. Let's leave it at they're playing.
Yeah.
They're not, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's my portion until we get a little further. I want to let that be clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I know each one of these gentlemen personally. Like we did decades together in various jails. Some closer than others, right? Depending on the time in the jail that we was in, right? And the circumstance. Now, also I want to say it's an honor to have these brothers on here because if you watch this and you can't learn something from any one of us up here, then you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Okay. First, what Wink said, mind your business. I always say that on every topic that is applicable to, like that is one of the things that will keep you out of problems or a lot of problems by minding your business. If it don't have nothing to do with you, man, keep your mouth out of it. That's how you navigate. One of the ways that you navigate, right? The second part, like him said, like him on the end, I've been locked up 31 also. So I have been in jail long enough to see or to be around when the gangs weren't as prevalent. You know, it may have been a one gang, maybe, right? And I've gotten to know people before they joined whatever organization that they joined also, right? And one thing that he said that is absolutely true. During the time that we came to jail, you're going to get tested. I don't care who you are. Somebody is going to pull your card.
Facts.
And depending upon how you respond, even if you lose the fight, depending upon how you respond will depend on how your bit is going to be. Simple and plain.
Facts.
Right? You're going to get tested. And that was just how jail was, you know? All right. Now, as regards any statement that I might have made, I want to say this. I made the statement, and I remember this, that the officers or the administration looks at every group of men as a security threat group.
Yeah.
The reason they do this is because it is easy for them to deny any type of things we might want to do as far as having, every organization is allowed, religious organization is allowed one celebratory day, right? So the Sunnis, we have 2 holidays all year, right? We used to get 2 feasts, but now it's 1. And the reason they said is because it will cause problems. It will be a security threat if y'all have 2 and everybody else have 1. This is an example of what I'm talking about, how they take a religion or a belief and try to change it into, listen, we're just going to lump all y'all together. It's easier to deal with. Hey, you get this, you get this, you get this, and then be done with it. That's the statement I made last week, and I stand on it because I know it to be true. Every jail that I go in, I am in the hierarchies of the Sunni community just because of my experience, my age, my studying as far as knowing a little bit of the religion, right? Nobody knows a whole lot, and that was the statement that I feel like that I made. Now, the last thing, I didn't mean to imply that anybody that joins any type of religion, house, whatever, right? I didn't mean to imply that they were cowards, right? I never said that because I know some soldiers, some men that are a part of different things. They may be running it, they might just be fussing, whatever the case is, right? It's men on both sides, right? It's always men on both sides of situations. Now, for whatever reason that people decide to get together and support an idea or movement, right? But that being said, there's absolutely people who are inexperienced. It might be their first time coming to jail, and they try to join up on whatever they think is going to get the least amount of action. And most times it's the Sunni community because we're not going to tell you, man, go over there and bust his head or we're going to bust your head. You know, they don't have to really put that work in there like that unless somebody attacks them. And I'm speaking from experience on that because this is the thing that I'm a part of that I understand, right? And I can't really speak in depth about other organizations because I'm not a part of them. I can only represent what I believe and what I practice. And this is the way that you know that they only join for the numbers game. Because once they get established in the jail, they no longer come to service. They no longer praying. They're in the day room smoking. They doing whatever it is that they do once they get comfortable. So if that's the case, right, if you join the religion because you believe in it and you're trying to practice it or whatever, then you wouldn't disassociate yourself with the community once you get established.
Right.
And that is where that is where I'm able to make the statement.
Right.
That's my proof.
Right.
I'll cut it at that.
And let me just say this too. So a gang by sheer definition is 2 or 3 individuals that are together with the purpose and intent of criminality or establishing a criminal enterprise, right? So that's the definition of a gang, right? So with that being said, all parties, in my opinion, should be benefiting, which I didn't particularly see, whether it be out on the street or in prison. But in the prison environment, one of the comments that I remember standing firm on is the breakdown of the families surely leads to a variety of things. And ultimately, if you're in the prison environment, in my opinion, particularly caters to the weak individual who has possibly come from a broken home or experienced the breakdown of the family and dealt with traumas, come to prison. For those who are sincerely seeking gain or protection, the gang facade, in my opinion, kind of paints a good picture that they can be a part of. So I personally like individuals to really steer clear of criminality, steer clear of going to prison, let alone having to make that choice. Because I do hear y'all. It's not a matter of if, but when. You will be tested.
Can I interject something?
So please do.
Finish your thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of our callers wrote in and asked me directly what was one of the punishments for not following the rules. And I'm assuming they talking about in the Sunni community. Mm-hmm. So for different sins or different infractions, there were different adjustments. Most times, the first time will be met with just a talk and forgiveness, basically, and say, man, do you understand that what you're doing is against what we believe and what we practice? Mm-hmm. Do you understand that this is how you're harming yourself or you're harming your soul, or whatever the case is, right? And then as the infractions get deeper or numerous times, then they elevate. They can elevate all the way up to lashes, for real. But lashes now are forbidden in jail. We can't be whipping on nobody in jail. Yeah. But back in the day, brothers chose to take the lashes because they felt like if they straighten they sin out on this earth, and hereafter it would be forgiven because they already paid their punishment.
You may get a beating.
Yes.
Pow. Oh Lord.
Yeah, if I may.
So it might be something much. You see what they ask you to, like, I don't know if it's you, but answer the same question.
Yeah, so tell us about a rule.
I'll speak on it.
They asked me, was one of us. They said, like him. They said, like him saying for you. So,
actually, in reference to that, it's always rules of correction and behavioral rules that are set in motion. And I've been in situations in that dorm in the cut where I've seen brothers have to enforce the law of Sharia on brothers for breaking Islamic law. If you do something that is against the rules, you had some brothers in there that was going to enforce that law. You're going to get whipped. Now, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and even in the 5% Nation, we have rules. Mm-hmm. We call it a universal. When you violate, when you don't know your lessons, when you run around in the name of being, the supreme being, the black man, and you violate rules, we give out what's called the universal. In every religious organization, every street organization, you get a discipline. Now, whether you agree with the discipline or not, that is up to the discretion. You know what I'm saying? And where you are at in whatever lifestyle you live. But there is rules. And just like children, your parents have rules that you must abide by. I think that for a lot of people, they got into organizations looking for something that they lacked.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to build on that for a minute because it was something that Yella had touched on that I want to add on. I don't want to be too long, but I want to give you a clear understanding of what we delivering. It's almost like if you're going to be in this, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
And it's no, whether you in the Sunni community, whether you're practicing Shiite, if you're in any Islamic group, if you're in any street organization or so-called street gang, you have to understand that there are rules, and these rules are going to be enforced. At the same time, we have to always keep our minds open to the over-exaggeration of the outsider looking in. And I have to put emphasis on the outsider looking in because you're not privy to certain information because you're not in that inner circle. It's certain things I just would not know about the Sunni doctrine. I've studied it, but I never joined the community. It's certain things that has happened. I wouldn't know the intricacies of it because I'm not that far in it. And the same with the 5% Nation, the same with other street organizations, by whatever name they use. If you're on the outside looking in, you only can make an assessment according to your understanding. And I'm a piece out on that.
Can I go?
Yes,
Unless you want to go live, Kev. You want to go?
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to address them. I want to list a couple of things. I listen to my brothers, and these brothers, they stimulate me.
They are?
I was thinking about where we come from. I'm going to touch on this and I'm going to answer the question on the screen. The first thing is, I'm going to tell you why I was so adamant about being a civilian and coming in as I did and stood by alone with a couple of good men or whoever, I was around. It was because I'm originally from North New Jersey. Then where I'm from, right, I had different organizations, but they didn't play. We got a park called Weequahic Park. If you was found with a transgression, as far as the religious persuasion that you was in, your head could be popped. I'm not talking about no fighting. I'm not talking about no beating you. I'm not talking about cut your head off. There was a lot of heads found in a park called Weequahic Park. All you gotta do is run back the news of North New Jersey and things of that nature, and how people ain't play with the religions. They would cut your head off. They would kill you. You would no longer exist in different organizations. So that was what was the scariness inside me. Like, oh no, I'm not going in there faking. You know what I mean? When I know I'm a dope boy, I sell dope, I sell drugs for a living, I stick up, I shoot people, I do different things. So I never. Now you can change. I don't, because a lot of brothers was about that like me, but they actually really modify their behaviors and transform into these. I'm talking about out of the world of brothers that I can't believe them so full of information. And so I say that to say just to give you a little bit of background about me, why I stayed a civilian, still a civilian, because of where I came from and the penalties for being in something, faking or halfway in or halfway out. And I knew I was going to be dedicated to nothing to a dollar bill at all times. Yeah. That's what my dedication was to getting money. I don't care now about being in jail on the streets. I don't care if I'm in jail on the streets. I'm about getting that paper, and that was my goal, and I'm going to do that no matter what. So I wasn't going to get involved in nothing in a serious aspect and be faking. So that's my take. But now, to answer the question on it, that basically answers the question. Said, what was the punishment? Well, as a civilian, if you got caught with certain transgressions as a civilian, like I'm gonna use this one because this everybody gonna be able to relate to this. I have nothing against. I have nothing against homosexuals. I have nothing against that anybody that want to do with their body, whatever they do. I have nothing against that. That's your own choice, and I have my own choice as well. I don't choose to live that lifestyle. I don't choose to closely affiliate with guys who engage in those type of things. So I'm going to talk about punishment because I was asking about punishment. So I had to find a transgression that would really fit to the question, universal joint. And so if we had a guy that was around us, we civilians, he was chilling with us, and oftentimes we impose how we are on other individuals because they look like us, they
Right.
dress like us, they talk like us, they act like us, and they walk like us sometimes.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it comes out when one of those homosexuals coming to jail, or what we call boys coming to jail. You'll find one of your dudes that you have become close with, whatever percent, whether it's working out or whatever y'all came, he gravitates to that because evidently that's who he was before he came to prison, and it just took for the right individual of
Bring
that
it out of them.
to bring it out of him. And so the punishment for that would be I would never speak to him again. I would never deal with him again because not that watch it. That's watching me now because they I'm not. If you came in and I had a dude. He was gay. He said, "Oh, I don't get down, man. I like boys, and you know what I mean. You might not want to move in the cell with me because that's what I'm on." I said, "Okay, I respect that." You know what I'm saying? That dude, I just met him. I never stopped speaking to him. I respected him as that's what he did, and he went his way, I went my way. But it never stopped me from speaking to him when I see him because that brother was who he is, and he stood on what he was. But a brother that coming under the illusion that he's one of us, and he never tell, and then a boy come in and he's chasing him, and that's banishment. I never speak to you again, and I just don't deal with you. You know what I mean? And it's not a hill of beans to some people, but that's about the most severe punishment as I can think of as a civilian, where I excommunicate somebody and never speak to them again. Or I just believe if you're being real, not that if you use drugs, like you know what I mean, certain drugs, you know what I'm saying, you get high or whatever the case may be. I don't have no problem with that if you just be yourself. But if you come on as I don't mess with that, I don't just that and the third, and I find out that that's what you do and you really bad off in that, then that's another thing.
Break up.
Just don't mess with you no more.
Yeah.
Come on, Wayne.
I kind of forgot my train of thought, but
It's all right. It'll come back.
I'm gonna say something in reference to what was said about punishments. Now, like I say, I've been privy to be around a lot of guys that was a part of these street and prison organizations. And one thing that's not being said, a lot of times when they transgress, the punishment wasn't severe. You get what I'm saying? Maybe they was given a book and say, read this book, study it. I want an essay. You get what I'm saying? Like, write this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the positive side of that no one really speaks of. You know what I'm saying? And that was designed to transform the criminal mentality into a revolutionary mentality. That was a part of that, right? So, you know, a lot of times we didn't touch, people don't touch on that. But for the civilians, let me say this. You come in prison and you want to find a safe haven, the last thing you're going to choose is a street organization or a prison organization. I'm telling you, because they're going to be harsh. So when people say, you know, prison, well, the gangs, the street organizations, they safe havens. Nah, they have never been a safe haven. If I went to prison and I stayed in prison for a month, the last thing I would do, if I was scared, is join an organization. Because you see, like, man, listen, I done seen gladiators. That's why when people say, well, you know, they do this. No, I done seen some of them young brothers and they gladiators, they warriors. You get what I'm saying? It might be for the wrong cause. You get what I'm saying? It might be for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But make no mistake about it, man. When it came time to stand on what they believed in, they stood on it. Win, lose, or draw. The prison's walls are painted with the blood of people that thought otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not glorifying that. I'm just saying, like, as an individual, as a civilian, if you think that you want to get in one of these, like y'all say, you know, when you come into the Muslim community, you really don't have to do nothing. We're not demanding that you do anything physical, like go stab this guy or protect this or do that. Them street gangs and them organizations, they absolutely are. That is one of the prerequisites. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times, in a lot of cases, the individual is not choosing the organization is choosing the individual. So, you know what I'm saying? Something has to be seen. Yeah. I don't think that, I'm not saying that it never happened, but I don't think these guys, you get what I'm saying, are saying, look, man, I want this guy beside me in times of war because he's a coward. Now, maybe, you know, people are misrepresented. You get what I'm saying? People put on a face They show you who their representative is. You get what I'm saying? They put on this persona like, man, I'm this, that's going to be tested if you join one of these street organizations or prison organizations. Make no mistake about it. You get what I'm saying? So we definitely can't say that like they're a safe haven. That's the last safe haven in prison. Yeah, so like to reiterate, and I wanted to address something that the brother said. Like you said last week, brother Lakim on the left. So you said something last week. You said, a lot of times you have a lot of these young brothers in organizations, not to be long-winded, they will pull you up and say, can I get a noodle, right? And I'm gonna give you a different perspective on that. My perspective on that, right, is if a brother in an organization pulled me up, no matter what the organization represents, he asked me, can I get a noodle? And I know you got 20, 30 brothers right around you, I'm gonna look at you, not the organization. First and foremost, why you don't got a noodle? And what did you do that none of your brothers want to give you a noodle? You get what I'm saying? So these are the questions that I'm gonna have to ask. You get what I'm saying? How many bridges you done burned? You don't got nobody to send you money to get a noodle. So I gotta look at the individual and not make an assessment like this brother like him said on the whole. I'm gonna attack the individual, not the whole. Like, what's the day? Sit down, let me have a talk with you. Brother, why you don't have a noodle? That don't have like even civilians. Like, why you don't even individuals? Why you don't have a noodle? I have to ask this question. You get what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
So that's how me personally, I would have attacked that. But
I want to be quick with just to respond with what I was at. Exactly. That's why I said that 100%. And what I want to say, what I was saying, it was an indictment. What sort of indictment on all of us? It wasn't an indictment on another guy because I wanted to know why was he comfortable in asking me for a noodle? What did he do that he had to ask for a noodle? He don't have nobody send him a noodle. And also, what was the comfortability with all the brothers that he's around, say if it's 20, like Wayne said, that he didn't feel comfortable asking, but felt comfortable asking me, a civilian, for a noodle. So I do want to actually indict those brothers. Why wasn't he made comfortable? And it might possibly wasn't them, but it was just him and his uncomfortability of whatever transgression he did to those brothers, or however he felt about them, because whatever they showed him as an individual. So but I agree with what he said. I want to know both ways.
And I want to add on right quick.
Go ahead.
This is something that is often overlooked, and I think that we can attest to it once we pick it apart a little bit, is that regardless of what house you were in or what organization, be it religious or street, one thing that we all can attest to is that household names in each of these houses always held the glue to either stopping or starting something that needed or did not need to be done. And I think a lot of times what we'll do is we'll critique something to the point where we look for fault in it. But let's look at the times when administration came at us regardless to what you were. And the imam and the household name in this organization and that organization, they came together. And they stood in the yard like, no, we ain't going for that. Like, we got rights. We're going to unite if it's just on this principle. And you might come in the dorm. And coming in the dorm, you might know Lakim, this Lakim on the right. And you might know that Lakim on the left. And there might be some stealing going on in the dorm. But when you come in there, we school you. We tell you, look, this was not going to happen in this environment that we live in. And no matter how tough you are, no matter your rep, you respect that. Because it's coming from household names that have honor on them. Admiration is attached to these guys' names. And they may be in different houses. But you know that this guy's character is standout. And he's a stand-up man. And I think a lot of times that's what's overlooked. And it becomes overshadowed a lot of times because we look for he was busting heads in this jail, or he had that dude robbed, but we don't know the transgressions of what has happened. And this is never a slight But we've seen even in the community where brothers will commit acts and then join the community. And you be like, hold up, didn't he just steal his brother's sneakers
Yeah.
over on the West Wing? And then when the brothers find out, next thing you know, they got him in a circle like, brother, oh no, until that matter get cleared up, then you come claim your shahada.
Right.
So it's some things that we must not overlook.
Yeah.
We got to look at the positive in things, because if we leave it up to other people, they'll make it seem like, oh, it's just nothing was good out there.
Yeah.
And I want to say this before I close. Wink pointed it out, but I seen a lot of brothers get 100 run the yard 25 laps. What? Give me 500 push-ups. Every sanction is not always a foot in your ass, pardon my language.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sanction is, brother, read your Quran cover to cover.
Enlightenment.
Yeah.
Read this hadith.
I've seen that a lot.
And don't come from off your bunk until you read a certain amount of pages or chapters. Read the 30th in your Quran. See, it's always options.
Yeah.
And these punishments are set in place to build your character.
Interesting.
To make you into a greater a Muslim or greater black revolutionary.
Yeah.
And a lot of these street organizations, the very names of them imply revolution or change or some kind of positive movement. And over time, you know, like all things, they got corrupted over time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add on to that in that way.
Maisha,
Thank you for that.
Maisha, can you read the John McCauley?
Yes,
the Mo
thank
brother?
you.
I want to understand what he's saying.
Yeah, and then
can you break it down?
quickly, I'm going to read those, and then Daryl, you have the floor.
Yeah, I got something to say.
But John McCauley, hey there, he says,
Shout out to the Mo.
Islam more.
stillness. The creator of the universe can and have used you divine in person. What is the dismal
Divine in prison.
divine in prison? What is the dismal crypt?
Right. That's the language the Moors use.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I ain't
That's the
know.
more science.
Yes, that's more
Okay.
Got you. Listen, I'm amongst some scholars here. Y'all got me learning. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
Listen, Yella.
Okay, so I want to say that, again, I agree with the panel, right? These guys have walked this life down like I did. And what I wanted to say was, for 13 straight years, I was the building I'm in, House Unit 2, the new jail. The first thing that I did was went to each one of the representatives of the different houses in the building and create a truce. And the purpose for that is, first of all, most people in prison is trying to get the hell out, right?
Right.
These small petty things, we can come to the table, walk the gold child and talk about, discuss this, or if money is owed, straighten that, whatever the case is. The point I'm making is, because of the honor and the respect that a person has, people are willing to work with you. So if I go to each one of these heads, and sometimes together, if we're in the big yard and say, listen, man, if one of yours have a beef with one of mine, if, things happen, men, things jump off. So if it's a bang in the mouth right then and there, and then, men fight, that's something that can be handled. But if it's something where y'all strapping up and y'all trying to chop one of mine up, walking the child, you need to come holler at me about it and give me a chance to straighten it. Because if not, it's going to be complete chaos. That means any of yours on the tag going to get it, right? And nobody wants to be locked down. Nobody wants to get shook down. The green team come through, right? People get hurt on both sides, like we was talking about earlier. It's men in every situation, every household, every organization is men. They don't play, they put work in. So nobody really wants that. Until you've been in a war and understand what it is and all of the repercussions that come behind it, then you will figure it out. Like, man, listen, we're going to try to avoid that. Because some things don't be that heavy. They just don't be that heavy. Even if you got to tell them, look, y'all go in the shower, shoot the fab in the shower, and y'all leave it in the shower. That's it, no weapons. I've done that numerous times. And some of the times, my brothers was the ones that was wrong. And you know what I tell them? get your ass in that shower and go see him. Because he came to me and said he want to see you fan square. He want to see you head up. Right? These are the things that keep peace. These are how we navigate in prison. Right? And then one more story briefly. So I'm not going to disclose the organization. So I saw a little brother, he got the order to put some work in. Him and another dude over the gym, they put that work in. When they got back on the tier, they got locked up. So I messed with the little guy. He played on my basketball team, right? I was kind of selfish because I was mad that I was losing him for real. But anyway, I go to the guy that got the building or got the tier and say, man, look, you great, send Shorty something down there. I got a bag of coffee or whatever for him, right? So he told me all he get is either 2 boxes of Debbie's or a little small piece of OJ, right? That's his reward for, honoring what his order was, right? Less yet, Shorty got 18 months before he go home. How can I respect that?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't respect the men, but how can I respect that?
Yeah, I don't think that and many other acts were worth it. Wow.
Okay, I'm done with that. We'll go on to the next.
I want to expound on what the brothers talking about because, I talked about the cowardness and different things of that nature, but I want to pivot because it's an awakening. I never met so many, be clear, so many, like they said, so many honorable men in my life until I came in the prison system and dealt with a lot of dudes in some of the organizations. So that's why I say a few bad seeds because, like you said, some influential, honorable men was among some of the organizations, and no doubt about it, stopped a lot of bloodshed, and so I want that to be recognized. And I want to talk about as it relates to that, the honor and those particular individuals. I want to talk about how it's so funny. Like I talked about some of what I believe is the Jews hiding in them, but when I come out into this world, let me say this. This is how powerful. I'm just give you an example how powerful it was. I'm gonna give you an example like a dude from DC and a dude from Baltimore. They came in the joint and they just got close. They got close like brothers, closer than some family members or whatever the case may be. Once upon a time, and this is going to explain to you why there's so much chaos in the streets right now. It's going to give you a little small sample why there's so much chaos in the street right now, and the young is running wild. One time, a dude from DC, a dude from Baltimore went down Dreams, right? And he might have got beef with a little kid. He was getting some money, dude out of Baltimore, get some money, dude down DC to get some money. And they might have got to a serious beef, some type of shooting, trying to skirt over a female, whatever might have happened. And dudes were called, the uncle is in the pen with another dude from Baltimore, DC, and they'll get wind of what's going on. But the influence was so strong, he would call on the phone and tell his nephew to come see him because he don't want somebody got to sit on the phone and tell his nephew, yo, that's dead. That's over. Y'all, we ain't doing that. Slim, that's my walking partner, and that's his people's. You my people's. Y'all ain't doing that because we like brothers, and it's over.
That's right.
It's over, just like that. But I say that because that is the power and the honor that brothers behind that door had and the influence they had. Forget about in the joint, but in the streets. Let me tell you what the disconnect. Let me tell you what we had today. The disconnect came because what they did was they created all kinds of boundaries and stones so guys couldn't come, family members couldn't come in prison. They got to put their finger on it, got a record, got petty charge. They couldn't come behind the door. People's children couldn't come see them no more. And thus, you got these kids out here running wild with no real moral around them, shooting everybody because they don't have the guy. Well, here's the saving grace. The saving grace is right now, the Unger Act happened. So a lot of my good, serious brothers, they're free now. A lot of brothers in the last 5 to 10 years getting their sentence overturned to come home. These brothers sitting on the pound of lifers, they got a lot of influence and can stop some of this violence that's going on out there.
Yeah.
But the correction system and the powers that be created this stuff that's going on out here in the community because we couldn't see our nephews no more.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop some of the stuff anymore because they can't come see us. They ain't gonna talk on the phone, so they couldn't talk on the phone, so we could stop some of the madness. We couldn't connect with our sons no more because the mother might have had a pay charge or some type of charge.
Yeah.
So this is what you're seeing now. So I just want to talk about that because they so right, and so many honorable and real men
Yeah,
that can
I agree.
stop a lot of
I
this mess
certainly
if you
agree.
just let them out of prison and let them come out here and move amongst the people. Like everybody in this
Yeah.
panel almost got a program, a structured program, or some type of entity where they're going and feeding the community, helping them with information
Yeah.
to change these rates and raise this moral barometer out here that's become so chaotic and do anything lifestyle.
That's right, Wayne.
All right, I got two stories, right? Because
Thank
a lot
you for that, Lakim.
absolutely, I ain't
Yeah.
going against nothing you just said. I agree with everything you just said, right? The brother, Yellow, he told a story about how a guy did something in the name of his organization and he was rewarded Debbie's, right? I can assure you the Debbie's wasn't a reward. You get what I'm saying? I can assure you that when you talk about duty, if you understand the word in its totality, right? Duty is not a respecter of anything other than what you're supposed to do, right? The reward for that brother that we may not know may come somewhere along the line. You get what I'm saying? The same guy that gave him the order, he might be in his position and be in a position to save another guy that's coming down the same path as him. You get what I'm saying? So you can never look at it and say, in this instance, he did this, he got this, and this is what happened. It wasn't worth it. Nah, it was worth it to him because this is his belief. You get what I'm saying? So to him, he might not have wanted nothing, right? So let me tell a story, and you know this story. I was in a cut. So an individual, a civilian, robbed a Muslim, right? The Muslim took his watch, sold it to me, right? As soon as he catch with. I ain't naming no names. They catch me with who it was. They called him back on South Wing. They punished him severely for that. Not just, they had to take his spleen out, right? And the individual that did it was going home the next day. This is why they chose him. You do this because you're leaving the next day. Now, to the outside looking in, I can say, well, God damn, they didn't even respect this man's release date or nothing. You get what I'm saying? But to a strategist, it was a smart move because he left the next day. They didn't even have time to really investigate it. You get what I'm saying? And when it was all said and done, he was gone. You get what I'm saying? So it was what it was. We know at this time, it wasn't no big investigations. You didn't get like time like you get now when you did things like that. You get now, they're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. At that time, you might have got 90 days on lockup. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So somebody on the outside looking there, they could have said, man, is this the value that they place on their Muslim brothers? You get what I'm saying? So you can never, that's why the assessment, like the brother said, you can never look at these things and say, wow. Because to that little young brother, man, he's duty bound, he's honor bound, you get what I'm saying? Then you disrespect what I'm a part of. These are the consequences. He might have been the one that raised his hand. Because we're not in those circles. We don't know because the question might have been asked, man, this is what happened. He might have volunteered himself. Man, I'm gonna go do that. You get what I'm saying? You ready to go home? I don't care. So we can't make those type of assessments. But on a bigger story, right? On a bigger level than that, man, let me tell you something about a young guy.
Food for thought.
Me being that young guy, right? I'm in the cut. I get assault on the police. I go on lockup. In my mind, when I come to prison, I'm going in and I'm coming out the same person. You get what I'm saying? I ain't looking for no growth. I ain't looking for no change. I'm angry. Somebody tried me. It is what it is. I'm not going to be disrespected. So I'm on lockup. And the brother come to me, right? He started talking to me, do you read? So I'm like, I read barely. He said, well, I got a book for you. And the book was, if I'm not mistaken, The Broader Files. Brought me the Broader Files. I read the Broader Files. I like this book. You know what I'm saying? I'm going into it now. The brother, he having conversations with me. Then he bring another book, The ISIS Papers. I remember clear day, this years ago, reading the ISIS paper. He chopping it up. And this brother set me on this course. It's like a ship. You got a ship that's in the ocean. And this ship is set on a course to go 1,000 miles. And you can tip this ship a little bit this way, a little bit that way, and it stays on that course. And that 1,000 miles would be 1,000 miles away from its intended course. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, this is the brother. He was working lockup. You get what I'm saying? This is the brother that changed the trajectory of my destination. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no telling where I would have been had he not done that. So from that point forward, I'm a bibliophile. I read. You get what I'm saying? That's what I do. I love books. So every time I'm around this brother, we chop it up. It got to the point I start challenging him. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. I lost, and to me, a stalemate was a win. Because the brother's sharp. But that's what it was. So, like, as you know, brother Lakim on the left, as above, so below, right? So if you can change an individual in that way, imagine what you can do to an organization. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
So if you take that same organization that everybody looks down on and says, man, they're nothing, they're this, they're that, it's an organization. You have individuals that can point the finger and 100 men are willing to go in that direction. Imagine you take that same organization and point to something positive. You get into the mind of the leaders of those organizations. You get what I'm saying? And it trickles down. Because a lot of organizations, you go into that paperwork, it's positive. No stealing, no backbiting. You get what I'm saying? So on and so forth. You got to be honorable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate this because I don't even remember giving him those particular books. I remember when I was working lockup that I was giving books to brothers to read. But if he'd have said, "Live, what's the first book you gave me?" I'd have been like, I can't recall. But I wanna because I'm always looking at the broader picture and looking at how the circumstances are manipulated by outside forces that we may not pay attention to. And like the Quran say, you need to see the unseen. And it's the unseen that govern the seen. It's a hand behind this fiasco that takes place in prison. And I want to talk about how, when I first came in the system, they had what is called Talim service. You remember, Yellow?
Absolutely.
And Talim service was a Sunni Muslim service. But it was so ill because it allowed every Islamic connected organization to attend Talim service. I don't care if you was a 5%, I don't care if you was more science, if you was nation, if you was lost and found, if you fell under the banner of Islam some kind of way, you was invited to sit in that circle and learn. And what the administration done, as time went on, they removed that service. But that service to me meant so much because it was the uniting of the minds of so many different organizations.
They saw it as a threat.
Right. Who had diametrically opposed views on religion. Yet we could all sit in one room without any beef, without any quarrel. We may have said, man, they crazy. And they may have said, man, look at these motherfuckers going burn in the hellfire. What are you talking about? You know how it goes. But at the end of the day, we all coexisted in a honorable unity that was, how can I say, it was a disunified unity, if that makes sense. And the administration said, hold on. This too much.
Right, might have been more than half their population.
They took time. I can't even recall the last time I heard a Talim service in the system. Can you recall, y'all? I don't think they was.
They absolutely do not do. First of all, a Talim is a subject, a talk on a specific subject. That's what a Talim is. Brother has to give a Talim. Sometimes, as Wink said, that is the first level of punishment that I don't know, let's say they see you smoke, brothers catch you smoking or something. Okay, you have to give a Talim on why that is haram, why that's forbidden. Right? And then you do that at study class or in the day room or whatever the case might be. So it's been a while ago. And the way that they did away with it briefly, and then I'm gonna give it back to you, is they created countouts. So if you're not a religious preference form, if you're not on the Sunni religious preference form, you can't go to any of the Sunni services in the nation, in the border signs,
divide and conquer. That's
small circle and large circle and all of that. So you have to choose as soon as you come into jail. You have to pick which one you're going to be on. So that's the way that they unplug basically. Unplug the think tanks and the coming together of minds and the building of men with different viewpoints.
I had always had the privilege to be able to build with all the religious organizations. They all knew I was a 5%er. I went in the nation and basically became their minister. I did it on various locations everywhere I was going. And I've never had any resistance. I've had a lot of debates. I was known for debating only because I had to justify my position as my belief as a 5%, and my lifestyle as a 5%. But that came from my background. I had a chance to build. The other Lakim is from Jersey. I've been on Grafton Ave in Newark. I've been on Broadway in Newark. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I've been in ciphers in Brooklyn, in DeKalb Ave, in Fort Greene Park. I've been everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So when I got in the system out here, I'm one of the few. And this might sound like an exaggeration. I believe I introduced the supreme mathematics, me and a brother named Truck, to really the Maryland population in the penitentiary and in JCI. And I don't even think they saw a copy of the supreme mathematics before I started passing them out to brothers. And this is why my impact was so profound and so deep. And so whatever I became a part of later on, they always recognized me as being God body, like, yo, Lakim, yeah, God body. And even when people hear my name, like before I met the other Lakim, I had always heard his name through other people. And it was always honorable. It was like, yo, you don't know the other lie get money. He in Patuxent right now. He just got knocked with his, you know what I'm saying?
I ran into that too.
I've heard the same thing. Like, you know that lie.
Yeah, so
from up top,
right.
blah, 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 blah.
And so it all happened like this meeting to me is monumental. It's like historical.
Yes, it is.
And because all of us at this table, we share a unique connection. And it's powerful, you know what I'm saying? And I think that what we represent, it has to be imitated everywhere. And I think that a lot of times the things that are powerful, we don't imitate. We try to go after things that demean us and think that is strength. But authenticity, when you be your authentic self, everybody has to expect what is real. We talk about keep it real, but really being authentic, that's the realest you're going to get. When you meet me, I'm being authentic. I'm well read. I study. I still enjoy studying. I still enjoy writing. I'm a part of an organization. I got my own men's group. It's called HEAL. Shout out to HEAL. You know what I'm saying? It stands for Healing, Elevating, Analyzing, and Learning. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome to come to the group. This good brother Lump, he has been there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad to be on the podcast. And I just want to say peace and elevation, man, to our people, man.
Man, I just want to do a brief summary and just come in and just do a little brief. I appreciate y'all brothers, man, expanding and showing everybody the truth. But I need to focus on what I endured going through the prison system as a civilian. As a civilian that I am, I had to be humble because I had to go to organizations as a civilian and talk to somebody that's at the hierarchy. Because I'm a stand-up man, but I got to go to the hierarchy of the organization to look, man, I'm real and I don't want to go do this situation. So can you please talk to somebody else that's being a wild card, that's being a crash dummy? You know what I mean? We talking about all religions and organizations. I had to go through this as a civilian. I had to go through the Muslims, the Nation of Islam, the Sunni, all the organizations.
Right.
You know what I mean? As being a civilian, and I had to, during my time, I had to go through all this and learn. I ain't gonna say infiltrate, but I try to go and get the mindset of everyone and bring my character in it. I was a mentor in the system as far as trying to get the youth not to be preyed on when they come in the system. That was my giving back.
Yeah.
But now I see I couldn't reach certain individuals. They wanted to go to this organization. They wanted to go in. They want to go check in. They want to do this and they want to do that. So I'm saying that it's not easy being a civilian going through the system, going through the prison system, man. But I just was want to commend all y'all fellas for giving y'all input on that. I just had to say that, and I'm thankful all of us is home and we not in this fucking belly of, because we went through some turmoil.
Yes.
I've been around all y'all in different individuals in different situations.
Yeah.
Every one of y'all are different in situations. You in a different situation. You in a different situation. And you in a different situation. And my man Yaba in a different situation. Mm-hmm. So I commend y'all for coming on this panel. And I want y'all to keep on expanding. I'm going to bring out Maisha back as the moderator. But I had to say this to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming on this platform and giving the show enough. But understand, breaker 19 means.
Before you go, I gotta answer this question that you asked. Okay, so you asked me why weren't you allowed to come to Jumar? You wanted to come and see what's going on. Okay, Jumar is the weekly religious service for the Sunni community. Only the people under Shahada can come to that. However, every week we have study classes, and that's where guests are allowed to come, where they can learn about the religion. But Jumar is actually our religious worship service. If you're not under Shahada, you can't come.
That's not the dynamics I got from Clyde. He's a Muslim with you. He said it wasn't fair. He stood firm. It's not fair. You wanna bring me and say this? I'm telling you that it's not fair, and it's not fair to the people that you can't come and get knowledge.
I'm telling you what learning knowledge.
All right, but I'm saying
Jumar is for worshiping and praying.
I understand that you're saying it's for safety because y'all praying. You're going down. You got security behind you.
It's not just safety, bro. It's not. I didn't say that. It's our worship service. This is where we go, like Sunday church. Well, that has an open door policy. That's a bad example, but this is our worship service. Anybody under Shahada can go. If you're not under Shahada, you can't come to Jumar.
So you call me careful?
Hold up. And on top of that, right, I just told you about the countouts. The jails implement countouts. If you wasn't on the countout, they was not letting you go, bro.
What for countouts? You just check out and say I'm going to service. I went to all services like that.
So you went to Jumar?
I told you they said I was a Kafir, y'all. Now, non-believer. I believe. But that
just means that is the Arabic word for a non-believer, bro.
Okay.
Which means you're not under Shahada, which means you're not welcome worship.
It does really appear to be unfair, but it was explained that because it was in the prison environment and things were happening, they couldn't take a chance on letting anyone in.
I just mean religiously, that is our worship service where we go to hear the message and to pray. If you're not under Shahada, you're not welcome to come in there. But study class, welcome to come and learn about religion.
So why is it study class and you really getting a word of the organization? Why I want to go to study class?
But that's just the rule.
Why are you shutting that?
Lump, that's the rules, so you can't break them.
I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say.
I can't find out the rules because they ain't let me in to find out the rules. They not let me in the
That's because you're a Kafir.
I don't want to debate.
That's what you want me to say.
That's
what you wanted me to say.
I understand because the language is, they weaponize the word Kafir.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got into a debate one time with, we had beef too. What was the big dude name?
There's a lot of big dudes. Like
he building. He was mostly security. No, not her.
Hercules.
He was mostly security. He told
Nori.
Right?
no.
And Nori, my man. But Nori told another Muslim, he said, you gotta watch Lakim. He's a vicious Kafir. He know the Quran, he know the truth, but he said you gotta watch him. He a vicious guy. He was making it seem like my knowledge of the deen was deceptive. Like I was trying to, and I told him I'm not trying to steal no converts. I'm not trying to get you to not be on the Siratul Mustaqim. I'm not trying to do none of that.
Right.
So what do you mean? And me and him almost came to blows because they weaponized the word. It's almost like when a 5% say you'll build power. Yo, you blind, deaf, and dumb. You're a poisonous animal eater, you slave. You know what I'm saying? That's like when we say that to you. That's like saying, like basically, you're a fuck boy. You know what I'm saying?
And I wouldn't want to come to your service.
It's such a what we're saying in a diplomatic way, where our choice of words is like, yo, this nigga blind, deaf, and dumb. Like, you don't know who the true and living is. You know, it's almost like it's an insult.
Yeah. Well, Lakim, I just wanted to speak on. I didn't want to go back and forth.
No, but it's all love. We ain't going back and forth.
I ain't want to go hand in hand.
You feel like going back and forth with me? Cause I gotta say something to something you said.
All right, well, go ahead.
Okay. You said
I wasn't here.
I gotta brace myself.
Yeah, I gotta
break this up. I read something that I don't know if you put up there somewhere else, and you know, a lot of times you hear guys say, you know, I was a civilian, I stood on my own, right? In my experience, I don't think no man came to prison and was an island in and of himself.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, say that. Explain
I
that.
don't think no man came to prison and completely 100% stood on his own. You get what I'm saying? And I say that because we may not know, but how many people then whisper to somebody's ear and say, don't do what you get ready to do to that man? Because we done something dumb. You get what I'm saying? So our relationships helped us as well. Definitely civilians, because I know a lot of times civilians do things, and it might be standing on manhood. You get what I'm saying? And then, like somebody said last week, now they coming at you full force. And somebody might see it and say, nah, that man being a man. Leave him alone. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So a lot of times we be, you know, in them instances, not saying you, but in them instances, a lot of guys think that happened.
It was Kenyatta.
Okay, I got you.
A lot of times guys think that happened on their own merit, when sometimes it just don't work out that way. You get what I'm saying? It might be on an individual that watched you or know you and said, man, he's not that type of guy. You get what I'm saying? So what y'all getting ready to do, or what you as an individual get ready to do to him, don't do it, man, because he's a good guy. Now, I mean, myself included. You get what I'm saying? That might have happened to me a few times. It might be the reason I didn't get the knife in my neck. A few times. Because I know I done some stupid things. I went in there when I was 19. You get what I'm saying? So that's something to think about.
Oh, yeah. You trying to jump?
No, I got exactly.
He said he wanted me to answer this. I specifically said that I had to go to the upper hierarchy of the individuals.
The
hierarchy of the individuals and tell them, man, look, I'm going ready to be a crash dummy myself because I'm a civilian. I'm going to be a crash. But I think you need to talk to the such as because I am standing on my own. But I know that I got the odds against me. I got the odds against me, so I'm trying to politic. I got to politic through all organizations and maneuver.
Yeah.
Maneuver through the. You understand? So I know when my back is against the wall. My back is against the wall all the time because I already came from out back. Your back got to be against the wall. Right. Yes.
No,
That's right. That's right.
I was listening when we said that. Right? I was like, dang. I was like, because you know, I'd like to say, yeah, I was by myself. I came in, and I started thinking when Wink said it, it triggered, and you sitting next to me, it triggered that time when, you remember when I got on the phone, right? I was on the DMI boy's phone, right? And so I bumped the clip, and then and you know, they was like, oh, you know, Lakim, you on our phone or something crazy like that. And I just looked like he was crazy. And so then I bumped another clip. And so when I bumped another, he's like, oh, yo, you ain't gonna get. And I was like, man, fuck you. You know, I'm on here. When I get off, when I get done, I'm done. And so then they all wanted to be, so yo talk shit. So I put the phone down, took my watch, and went upstairs. And when I went upstairs, go beef for everybody, there was like about 10 of them niggas up there. And Murder Inc., a BGF, everybody like, yo, Lakim, what's up, yo, what's up? You know, like, what's up? And because of the beef, niggas was like, yo, what, they gone, yo. They remember we civilians. Do you remember that day? They civilians, they gone. What's our boy, Coy, what's his name? He got like, I
don't know. No name.
Anyway, his name. Anyway, nevertheless, they was like, these niggas gone. That's why you, like he said, I mean, you think like you by yourself, but like that was every organization. Like them niggas out there, we gonna fly them niggas off the tier, yo. They gone just because of, like I wasn't by myself. In essence, I had every organization going upstairs, coming behind me, like yo, because they see I was serious, like I'm going up there to deal with these
That's
white
right.
boys, and everybody came. Like so, in essence, I was never by myself. That was niggas from every organization going upstairs. I had to stop. Like no. I'm gonna go ahead and deal with Slim, and then
That's because you build a presence of being a humble dude before you get that form. You build a humble presence among all the organizations.
Yeah.
That's why they stood firm beside you. Other than that, you was shit. The DMI would have furred you, even though we know what they was under. But you're right. But being an individual that you was a solid individual and you got along with every organization, that's what saves you. And you was a humble stand-up man. Because if odds against you, there's nothing can save you. There's nothing can save me, you, nobody. If somebody, I don't give a fuck if you serious, they coming for you. We gotta understand that. But that's all. I just wanted to say a little bits and pieces. Just to come in here. I didn't want to go. My man Yella came in. Bang. Wade came in. No, I need a peek. Oh, and lock him. You gave me the little mathematics. But look, Maisha, can you please come back?
Wait a minute. I want to know.
I had the plan.
Have you guys seen some things that like absolutely shouldn't have happened because of miscommunication between these lovely security threat groups?
All the time.
All right, we got 1 minute. Go ahead. When you start off with 1 minute, which have you seen that subtle? Not too graphic.
Personally, I've seen like because of the way that the prisons are designed, you can't really communicate with other people in other buildings. Because of that, because of gangs, organizations, they wasn't willing to. In some cases, they couldn't wait another day for somebody to get a message to somebody else. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They clash. So, and then when the message got out, and then they realized that, man, what we clashed about wasn't really what we thought it was.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I've seen miscommunication happen and some vicious things happen because of the miscommunication.
Yeah, I've seen, it's sort of like what Wink said, where in one building the beef gets squashed and everybody in the building know that it's squashed. And then some guys from another building who word didn't get to yet, see that guy coming from a visit and they jump out and knife him down, and the whole time you're like, he's sitting on admin licking his wounds and he like, I can see you're not a man of your word because you told me that was dead, but and it's all about word getting throughout the compound. And spreading throughout the entire jail to know, yo, that's hands off, that was dealt with, is over with. You know what I'm saying? And from that, a war can break out because that individual, his whole party or team feel like now y'all use the art of deception.
Yeah.
When the whole time you wasn't deceptive at all. It's just the word didn't trickle down fast enough. And now the whole jail in an uproar because now it look like you set the man up or you rocked him to sleep.
All right, my standpoint on that, when the organization is at fault, they put a individual you know that you didn't put them on your enemy list, but they got them as your enemy. They know from the files, and they still put y'all together. Same building, same tier, knowing that they don't care, kill each other.
So administration with
what I'm saying. They putting y'all on the same tier, same building, knowing that it's in your file that you don't supposed to be around this individual because it comes from the street. You know what I mean?
Talk about it.
This is what I'm talking about because this is my situation. That was my situation. You know what I mean? So I'm saying the administration fails the people in prison because they don't give a fuck about you.
It's called.
That's it. I'm finished with that.
It's called kill two birds with one stone. That's what it's called.
Back to this thing of honor, and I always think about some of the things that influenced me. I heard Wink and Kim talk, and so it's always spurred thoughts. I thought about who because I ain't read no damn books. That's what jail dudes do. And I remember being in Cumberland, right, and brother Kentar. You say, hey man, he's a rap to us. He used to come to us rap to us all the time. He used to come, he band and send us all the way up coming. And he used to come to us and talk to us all the time. And he said, man, we're gonna start a group and this is what we're gonna do. And he was like, each week, everybody gonna pick a dude and we're gonna read a book on him, and then we're gonna come and talk about it next week. And when I think about it, that's what changed my, like, I had a perception about these. I'm never gonna be a dude to go to jail and read all these books and come home and start talking all this mess. You know what I'm saying? And I was just crazy because of TV and stuff. But Kentar had to start reading books, like I read Denmark Vesey and all these different dudes about insurrections and resurrections and all that stuff. And so when I read those books, it led me to where I'm at today. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I coined myself a Black National Revolutionary, and because of all those books I read and the understanding that I got, of course, where I'm from, lends to it, and that's what they spur me with that. Like, damn. And this is another thing. I thought about the honor. I thought about when I first landed out back, right? The police had stopped me for something, right? This how dudes was, and because I say this because I talk about being an individual, I stand on my own. But it's like, you never really was on your own. Because I was talking to the police. The police pulled me up one time, right? Said, come here. Now they tried to say, come here to me. And so when the police pulled me up, I had never seen this before. It was niggas, this was niggas I know. And the police, I was talking to the police, you know what I'm saying? We police going back and forth. And like 4 or 5 brothers stopped, right? I ain't going for a can of paint, right? And you know what they said? Brother, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm good. And I said, I'm good. You know what you think they did? Walked on. They stood there until I got done talking to them. When I was allowed to walk away, then they walked away. Right. But that's the type of honor and brotherhood we had. So I mean, think about it, I was never really by myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Brothers, they wouldn't let nothing happen to me.
That's right.
You know,
I had something I wanted to. I lost my thought.
No,
It's your turn, man. It's your turn.
So the worst thing that I've seen in my whole incarceration, 31 years, I saw a brother come to his hand on the tear. So the miscommunication was him and another brother, another soldier, had beef from years ago in another jail. I think it was the penitentiary. So anyway, they were both a part of the same organization. So we get on a tear where everybody is on a tear now together. The OGs, both of the 2 guys that had beef years ago. So the word was, man, listen, that's dead. If you try to bring him a move, we're gonna get together and deal with you. And if you try to bring him a move, we're gonna get together and deal with you, right? So one of the guys got into an argument about the TV with the guy's cell buddy. They were supposed to go in the shower and shoot the fair one. The boy come out the cell with a knife and stab the guy up. Now, it just so happened you're a soldier, so he licked his wounds up. When they came out that night, they killed Slim on it. When they came out that night, they dealt with Slim on that tear. 3 on 1, and that's the worst thing I ever seen. They hit that man 264 times. And he was up there screaming for his life. Man, y'all got me, you know what I mean? So, and it was over miscommunication because guess what? Slim was he worked on lockup, like feed up or something. He wasn't even in there. He ain't even get a man tonight. But the point was, we told you, and they believed that yo put that seed in his cell buddy head. And come to find out it wasn't true. And now the dude ran and left the guy in the day room, left him in the top day room where he met his end at. And I say, I think when I was up Cumberland, he's on PC the rest of his bit, and he got a life, so he got a lung. But it was miscommunication because the whole time Slim really didn't have nothing to do with that.
That's crazy.
That was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot of trickle down. It's a lot of shit, y'all. You missed a lot of shit. Yeah, out of that situation. But so we're gonna go past that. But because that was violence.
It was miscommunication. And that's what the topic was.
Yeah, I know, but y'all, that was graphic.
That was.
Oh,
I mean, what
you
want
always
me to do?
gotta say graphic stuff.
It ain't no place fun. You know where we came from, man. Things happen, man.
Look,
Things happen.
But I think you said it. I think you said it best when you said that you're so proud that y'all home.
I want to know if y'all got all the stuff that y'all need to get out, because I really want y'all to politic and continue more. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna go back where I was at.
Stay there. Stay right there.
You don't tell me where to stay at. First of all, I want to know, did you get everything? Did you get everything out? Did we miss anything to bring the awareness of the misconception from last week?
No, I don't think we missed anything. I believe that we covered everything. I believe that um, overall, we all know that in every house we've had people to misrepresent, and in every house we've had people to represent. And so this kind of dichotomy exists everywhere, where you
Yeah.
have people who are going to be standout people. And in my perception and perspective, it's like this. If you don't have people who faking, they will never overemphasize the people who are not. It's like a contrast of dark and light.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have hypocrites, how can you know the believers?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if everybody was Malcolm, Malcolm wouldn't have been unique, because Malcolms would have been everywhere.
Ha.
But because Malcolm, El Haj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X, he was unique because those kind of individuals are rare.
Mm.
In a world where people don't want to be authentic, where people don't want to have any substance, you know what I'm saying? It's like I have this saying where I say an empty wagon makes a lot of noise. And a lot of times people are they're so empty, all they can do is just make noise, but there's no substance. And so when you come across people who have substance, it's like, damn, he not just talking, he got something to offer. Like, okay, damn, he was doing this in the joint. He come home, he got his own program. Lump, he got what's going on with Petty Ass Podcast. And we're all doing things to show and prove, like, yo, we wasn't just in the joint reading for nothing. It paid off.
That's right.
For sure.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We're coming home. It's like we're living prosperous lives. Ain't none of us broke. You know what I'm saying? We might not be as rich as we was when we was getting illegal paper, but at the same time, it's like, yo, we living right now. You know what I'm saying? We all got a woman in our life. I believe we do anyway. You still straight, Lump?
Nope. Nope.
Lump might be in question, but we all got good
Yeah,
women.
Love got a good one. Love got a good
Question.
woman. Don't play.
All right, but check this out. Look, go ahead, Wade.
I just want to close. I agree with the brother. I say I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover, and I got a lot of insight from the brothers. But my thing is this: like I believe that as long as you believe what you believe, you get what I'm saying? Like what you say you believe. As long as you are a believer, like if you say I'm this and you believe in it wholeheartedly, you know, who am I to say that? No, you shouldn't be believing in that, or you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. You get what I'm saying? It's the people that join these particular groups that don't really believe. These are the people that I question. But you can't look in the tub and confuse the baby with the bathwater. You get what I'm saying? You got to be able to distinguish. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, so, like, man, if I find a person, and he's the most ignorant person I know, but he believes in what he believes in strongly.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? There's potential there. You get what I'm saying? Now, if I can get you believing what you're supposed to believe in, I know you're going to believe in that strongly as well. You get what I'm saying? So with that said, I enjoyed this, man. I mean, I'm always welcome to come back and dialogue with this group. Yeah, man. I think we can go a few other directions, but
Yeah.
I appreciate my brothers, man.
Yeah.
Y'all presence, man. Yellow. You know what I'm saying? First time I seen him was at Wood meeting.
Right.
We couldn't get him to shut up then. He was building. You know what I'm saying? Yellow was flowing. He was like, "La, man, glad to see you." He brought up a few incidents. You know what I'm saying? Where I had to put the ox on the cat. That was his first thought. Like, wow.
What about you? What about you, Lakim? Is that what people turn?
Oh, Paul self. Go ahead.
God, we know you the God.
Paul self.
Go ahead, Lakim.
I just believe the old saying, iron sharpens iron. So I got a little sharper today, and that's what I'm always looking for.
That's
get a little
right.
Sharper. So when I be around these brothers and my sister that's behind the camera this present time, I just love being in the present. I just love being in the present. See, nope. I'm not trying to be offensive, but a lot of the cats out here in the world, they just not on the same wavelength.
That's
These
right.
brothers and that sister, we on the same wavelength. And, you know what I mean? And that's what I appreciate. I'm talking about just the pattern of thinking and how we moving forward. And because of what we've been through or whatever the case may be, I don't even deal with guys out here. If you haven't been behind that door and have that understanding, because there's a certain code of conduct that we done brought out here with us. And so this is why I deal with these people. So that's why I'm overjoyed and full of love when I get around these brothers and I'm in awe because I'm collecting some of the information because this is where I got my jewels from. This is where it started for me with brothers like this, and I just appreciate and respect these brothers to the utmost, and I can't wait to do it again and aspire to more.
Inshallah.
That's what's up.
So, one of the most powerful things that I learned in the joint, right, was that the message that Wayne gave, right? No matter what you say you are, you have to be it. Mm-hmm. And people will respect you for doing so, right? I saw the respect that certain men, even if they was upon something that I didn't agree with, I saw the respect in jails that they had because they stood on what they said they was doing, right? A lot of times people think, especially people that have never been through what we've been through, right? They think that prison is an all bad place. And technically, until you go through something, you don't really know who you are.
That's right.
We went through a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff, some more than others. But it made us evolve into the men that you see in front of you now. Because all of us went in there young, and all of us may have made mistakes, but whatever consequences there were for those mistakes, it formulated or it evolved us into the men that you see before you, right? That's part of gaining wisdom, going through things, experiences. That's how you gain wisdom. So prison wasn't completely bad in that aspect because for sure it changed me around. I don't think I had to be there that goddamn long, but you know what I mean? Really, it evolved me and created me into the person that you see in front of you, right? And I try to do the right thing even when people is not watching.
That's right.
And that's just somebody that I wasn't at first, you know? But I'm not going to be long-winded with it, right? But it is definitely an honor to sit up here with you gentlemen. Like I said, we're not just meeting, and I know every one of us could probably go for an hour on the topic.
Better believe it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So this is an honor, and look, we got to bring this back.
I don't know about bringing you back.
Yeah. break up 19.
Let me say this. Shout out to Reggie for not being here.
Yeah.
Look, he can't get rid of me. He can't get rid of me.
Yeah, I gotta keep him because he's stepping in for Reggie Curl with no show up.
But
anyway,
listen, I know Reggie is still watching and he's learning a lot of lessons just from what we're talking about. So Reggie, keep watching. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. We'll see you one day soon.
Nigga, give me some plugs. Fuck all that. Anyway. Man, breaker 19, breaker 19. Look, State of the Woman comes on Wednesday. Goons Talk is on Thursdays. Petty Ass Podcast is on Tuesdays. And then, as my man Yella say, the wild card is on the weekends. No holds barred. What they do on the weekends, y'all?
Man, what don't they do? They turn up and turn down.
Yeah, but look, I had a excursion out in the jungle this weekend in the fire pit.
Speak on that.
Oh my God, it was such a wonderful, man, this is real men in the jungle, like where we got bears and coyotes.
Y'all was in the forest.
And I had
not in the jungle.
Right. Yeah, I was in I was in a hammock.
Shout out to Uncommon Dialogue. Peace to Hollywood.
Yeah, and I shot you out the hill. I shouted it out.
Oh, well, shout me out now.
Oh no, I need you to shout it out. I'm gonna co-sign it. Shout it out. Because I shouted it out on the excursion.
But what did you shout out? Tell me what it was.
I said it was. What can you tell me what Lakim's organization is? He said Heal. I said heal everybody. Yeah. That's what I said, because we need to be healed because we out in this jungle right now. And it was on Preakness Way.
5400 Preakness Way.
Okay.
Every other Wednesday, heal. Healing, elevating, analyzing, and learning. If you missed it, you missed everything.
Yeah, see how he did it? Now, if I would have fucked it up, he would have been mad. Look, why you do this and why you mess it up like this and all that. But look, man, I enjoyed it. Look, I swear to God, I didn't want to come in, but they let me out. They let me out as a civilian. I had to get my standpoint on it.
Shout out to Cuzzo.
And then I got checked. Yeah, I got checked. All right, anything you got to plug in? Shout out to Maisha. Shout out to China. Shout out to Sharon. Shout out to everybody that supports the Petty Ass Number Reggie podcast. Go on YouTube, subscribe and like. Yes, that's what I need. And bam, break a
Yes,
19. Get all
break
y'all
out-
shout out
break out 19.
Peace in my whiz.
King_Cree. That's me. Follow me on social media, King_Cree. I put a few
Shout out
jewels
the
on there.
Heavenly Touch Aroma Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Schedule your scent sessions.
Today, that's right.
Where can they find you at, Maisha?
Heavenly Touch Aroma Center on Instagram as well as Facebook. Yes, follow me guys on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook.